Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, our newly anointed light beings, our old souls, and the evolving ones. This has been a phenomenal journey and offering the energetic clearings, the healings, the readings. I could definitely say I've been unbelievably busy and slightly tired, but it's all for a wonderful reason. And I want to thank everybody who reached out to me because what people don't realize is the minute one is able to work on an individual with any type of healing needs, clearings, we're not just doing that for the individual. We're actually doing it for the collective, which is the reason why it was so really important to me to do this now. Because we are in an entirely new dimensional phase. And in this phase, we really are creating our own universes. And when we're creating our own universes, we must let go of the concepts that we had prior to this point. So, those who are new to me are coming on now for a reason. It is to finally be able to let go of the old way of thinking. And I assure you, you are not alone because we all had to go through these steps. But those who are coming into their gifts now, you get to go way quicker than us old ones got to go because the energies are so very different. So one of the first questions I always get from people is, of course, the curiosity of how I do what I do, which please understand, I'm 57. I came in knowing certain things, but didn't know how to act on them, do 4 to 6 cycles of dreams a night, and evolved in so many ways through many, many, many hard knocks and losses. And at one point, not too long ago, let's say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I asked many of the questions that you're asking, which was who do I go to? Who do I find? What do I need to do? I don't understand this. There's so much information. I know somewhere in my heart I have this ability, but I don't know what to do with it. And they gave me the answer I didn't want to hear, which was, we're watching you create a masterpiece of how it is you are going to choose to do your healings. And I had never looked at it that way before. I was like, why do I have all these different experiences? I mean, if you listen to Who Am I, which is only a portion of what's going on, you'll understand that. I mean, psychologist to financial advisor to VP of a bank to having healed Crohn's disease and all these other things, and being able to do really miraculous healings and pop right in and disentangle and clear and do all of these things. They came from a process of learning. But the thing about me, I'm not afraid to dive in. And I'm asking all of you the same thing. Don't be afraid to mess up. I tell myself every day, you're going to mess up today. You're going to mess up on something. You're not going to get all those medium answers right. You're not going to be able to see every guide that's there. You're not going to be able to see every angel. You won't know the exact star system. But what do? I get up and I dive in anyway. Because when you try, you start to see these miraculous little things happen. And you start to talk to your guides, and your guides start to give you different answers. And then you start to pull on the things that work for you the best. And then your guides get to see how you work, so they give you more of that. This is the missing piece. Universe is here to help you move through on this. Our energies are so high, and we have come so far that when you ask me, and everyone does, to recommend another person, a book, something like that, I used to be able to do that. But you know why I can't do that right now? I can't do that because I would be limiting you. So I'm going to give everyone the same advice. As you're coming into your gifts and you're tuning up and you're learning about yourself and what you can do, follow your heart. Follow what brings you joy. Follow what excites you. Stick with it for a little while. Don't just go popping from place to place to place, which so many of us have done because we just want the answers as quickly as we can. And I totally relate to that. I get that. But the way to work it is to, now that YouTube, for example, has all of these channels, flip through the various channels. You pick a topic, Lyran Wars, okay? Flip through all the channels. Find somebody who resonates. You flip through the channels when you're trying to define something or understand something. Maybe you want to learn how to work with a pendulum, or you want to learn more about tarot, you want to learn about something else. Flip through the channels and see who resonates with you. But here's the point. In the old days, we had to go through all those classes, slowly learning the tarot cards, what they meant, the reads, the spreads, all of that. And I'm not saying they're not valuable. They are incredible tools, but they are tools. Any great psychic, any great reader will tell you that. Use a pendulum. That's great. For some people, that works really well. Wonderful to have that concept. Kinesiology, where you muscle test. Fantastic. Phenomenal way to find out how your body is responding. Not everybody can do that. And there are a bunch of ways that you can do self-testing. Or you can train somebody else how to do it for you, even a spouse, a friend, a loved one, whoever it may be. The thing is that we put limitations on ourselves. And with all these tools, we really are getting to the point where if we just spent time within on our own guides and we got to know how to communicate with them, we wouldn't need any of these tools. And our collective is tapping into universal knowledge more and more. So whereas you used to have to read about the Orion Wars or the Lyran Wars and Atlantis and all these other groupings, you would have to laboriously go through each detail. And then you were like, but I don't even understand the detail because I don't understand the question, because I don't even understand that there's a world outside of the place that I'm in. I get the frustrations. I completely get it because I unfortunately am not a technical walk-in, or fortunately. So there are people and individuals today that literally they came in with all their memories. And I'm like, wow, why didn't I sign up for that in my contract? And in many ways, we all have walk-in pieces coming in and going out. So I don't want to limit anyone, but I don't want anyone to be afraid. This is not the old days where people convinced you, and actually there were exorcisms. Clear your energy. Put a beautiful white light about you. I triple it once, twice, 3 times. I center into my heart. I say, now I'm going within. I am protected by the white light. Every thought, every deed is coming from the highest Christ consciousness within, or white light within, or whatever you use. And every thought and every being is for the benefit of not only humanity, but the universe, because we are one. And after you've done that type of clearing, you will start to learn how to go through your body parts and just zip through and say, I'm cleaning and cleansing, letting it drop, letting it go. You go from your feet all the way up to your head, you release, you let go, you pull out all those things you don't need, put them in. I used to call it a trash bin, but now I just call it like a regenerator. It just regenerates energy so the best can come out of it. You create however this works for you. But I'm telling you, the difference in the energies, even over the last month, are so phenomenal. When I did clearings before, they were like, oh, you were dragging in and pulling up, and we were dealing with all the energy of the children, and we were dealing with all the negative entities, and we were dealing with all of these things that were attaching to anything and everything, and they're pretty much gone, you guys. This is so incredible. So understanding that, why do you want to go back and make things hard for yourself? accept the fact that we're in a whole new beingness with whole new bodies that are coming. So going back and making you read Edgar Cayce, or even, like I said, I didn't even discover Dolores Cannon until a few years ago, or going through, I love hypnosis. I performed hypnosis. I was in practice. It was wonderful. But we're even so far beyond that. They now call it quantum. I give huge accolades to it. But we're moving so fast that it's like, I don't want you to attach to a master, a teacher, an individual. I want you to be like the kid in the candy shop. You're going to take me for 5 minutes, and you're going to zip over and see somebody else for 5 minutes, and you're going to zip over and pull from somebody else, and you're going to hear this, and then you're going to go within, because that's where all the answers are. And when you go within, you are literally going to turn around and say, now, how do I work with my guides? Because they are going to answer it for you. I don't know if it was 2013, 2014. I was pretty spiritually evolved, but I just had come to a blockage. A book literally appeared in front of me in a bookcase that I just walked over to get. And I was so excited because I was reaching for one of my favorite authors, and the other book popped out. I took both books. You wouldn't believe what was in that book. My guides literally put it there. The angels are dancing in the heavens because of all of you who took this leap with me. Because the minute that you did that, you started to connect to your inner self even more and acknowledge that you can heal. There is no doubt. And found out where those sticking points are. And found out how you're so much more than you even realize. Because again, like I've said before, most people who come to me have already evolved to quite a degree. They just don't know how to get over that little hump. So your job is to go back within into yourself and start to set up. You are in the biggest training ground ever, and your guides want to help you. So if I did a reading for you, and yes, I pulled up all these different people, perhaps they were your children who died, perhaps they were good friends, perhaps they're relatives from, I don't know, 6 generations before. It does not matter. Yes, I will get an idea, a feeling, an energy. But as I always tell people, I don't hold on to that energy, especially not in quote medium type readings. It's not that I don't believe in them, because they are fantastic and wonderful. And I send clients to mediums who did this work all the time because they could just get the information so much easier than I could at that point. The reason I don't encourage people, if you are on the light worker realm and are working with your guides, okay? If you've suffered from a loss and a loved one, mediums are fantastic. This has nothing to do with me talking about the value of mediumship. There are many that I love deeply. But in the light worker mode, when you're starting to move through, your job is to talk to your guides. It's not for us to tell you how it is. It's not for us to tell you the book, the video, who to listen to. It's for your heart to resonate with the one that resonates with you, so that you can create your own mode of learning. You can create your best university. You can create the way that you like to learn at the time you like to learn. If you like to learn at 3:00 in the morning, wonderful. Be my guest. Things are really open at that point, but maybe you like to learn at 6 a.m. Well, I'm not available at those times, potentially. And the reason that I no longer do talk sessions or call sections is because the amount of time that it takes to talk someone through, to try to answer all their questions before you get to the read, just diminishes the value of the read and the healing that can be done so much more quickly. It's not that I don't love each and every one of you, because every time I hear a new story, I'm just unbelievably wowed. But words cannot answer where we are right now. And words are a limitation, which is why you want to start to work with your guides in visuals and, if you can, light languages and all these other tools. So, letting go of how you evolve and how it needs to happen to you happens in only one way. You go into your heart, you pop the topics in that you get excited about. So let's say the topic today that I'm really excited about is, how do these friggin' miraculous healings happen, and are they going to happen in the future? And I'm going to tell you this: the energy is so high right now, you are going to see the day that paraplegics get out of their wheelchairs. You are going to see spontaneous remissions. You are going to see miracles beyond what we've ever seen. Because in this time when the energies are this high, it is truly the words, I am that I am. This you will do and more. We were told we are the ones who will come in and do more than has ever been seen. And we're doing it now. It's just that sometimes our message can't get around, or people just aren't ready quite to hear it. And that's fine. So you go inside and you say, okay, I want to do those miraculous healings so and so is doing, or I want to do these writings of books, or I want to do whatever. Or I want to be a hub for people who are just waking up, whatever it may be. Then you go into your heart and you hold it up to the angels, your star families, all of those, to source. And you say, well, how can I go about doing this? Even if you don't feel confident, even if you don't know that that's really what you want to do, because sometimes you have to do the 10 things you don't really like doing before you get to the one that you do. Be open, be loving and kind and gentle on yourself. And the biggest thing I can say is be willing to explore. Explore, explore, explore. Because every one of these things that you're pointed to is another way for your soul to expand. Remember, I say expand out, don't fit in. I mean it. So, where people get caught on top of that is where I get these other questions. I'm looking at them right now. Oh, I was asked about the future. Do I see any hospitals? No, there won't be hospitals in the future for those who are going into the higher dimensions. They're just not needed. What's going to be are like these sections of these beautiful domed, clear, crystalline living structures with trees and energetics, where you can go in for a sound healing, a music healing. You can go in for a vibe check. You can just go in and just recalibrate yourself. And I mean, we're getting to the point where med beds are already almost obsolete in the concept. If you are moving along in this way, you're just going to keep healing instantly. And every time one person heals in the collective, understand you're affecting hundreds and thousands of others who have the exact same thing. And I'm also going to tell you, in all of the recent healings, they're all pretty much all in the same realms. They have to do with releasing and letting go of old emotions. They have to do with lots of things to do on the female spectrum, a lot to do with yeast that can be released and let go of, body clearings. So many people are having tooth pain. Oh, I went through that whole thing, and my jaw locking. You wouldn't even believe it. I even have a chipped tooth in the back there, which is doing wonderful. It's regrowing itself. So don't limit yourself in any way. And remember, the teeth, they have all of these twines, all these connections to other parts in your body. So if you think more in kinesiology, all of these points are important points and tell you what's going on in your body. A lot of people with thyroids that were removed, thyroids that had nodules, thyroids, throat issues, sinus issues, headaches. All of those things are because we're clearing collectively. And this is the year that we need to use our voice. We need to speak up. So that's why those ones are coming in. The sinus issues, the drainage, the headaches, those all have to do with the pineal gland opening. So the best encouragement I can give you is don't let yourself stick to any of these quote illnesses or issues. Just say, oh, this is just my body flowing through. Okay, I release it. I'll let it go. I no longer need that. I'm moving forward. I can just, I'm healed. Because the sooner you do that and accept it, the sooner you will heal. And of course, there are emotional issues, which I'll do on a different topic because this is going long. And those emotional issues have little trigger points, and those little trigger points, if you are stuck in the past, if you're stuck in guilt or fear, those little trigger points could eventually lead to an illness. So that's why you want to work through those. Now, there are a lot more questions. So I'm going to do these really quickly because I honestly, I don't want you guys getting stuck on any of these because the universe is changing, but I'm going to answer them really quickly. Is the dream state our real state? Well, technically, guys, and this is going to blow your mind, we're basically multidimensional holographic beings who have only one fraction of our beingness on this planet in this vessel. Therefore, our real life is elsewhere, and this is the waking dream. Which is why when some people say you're not living a real life anyways, this isn't really your husband, this isn't really your kids, this isn't really what it is, it's because we're just in one fractal here. And I know how hard that is to understand. And I know many of you won't get what I said right at this moment, but the seed has been planted. It'll hit you one day. So the reason why I have avoided answering the questions, understanding that it's a holographic universe and that we are multidimensional beings, is the reason why I haven't answered, is the earth flat? Is the earth round? The truth is all of the above. Because we're in a holographic universe. But let me help you. I was shown a tangerine. Okay? That's not a sphere. A tangerine is more toroidal. On the tangerine was a quarter. The quarter is totally flat. Around the flat quarter are ice walls. And between all of those things are portals, various portals that bring you to different dimensions, fifth dimension, ninth dimension, all these different places. And in case you didn't know, we've been going back and forth from the moon for centuries. The moon was hauled in a couple 100,000 years ago. It's a satellite. It's been repaired. So much has gone on there. We have civilizations in Venus, on different planets, all of this has been, we've been lied to about. But if you are the person, going back to that flat earth concept, if you are the person on that quarter on my tangerine, imagine you're that little person on that quarter, right? And you decide you want to become a pilot. Well, on that quarter, becoming a pilot, anytime you fly, you're given those coordinates. And on those coordinates, what happens is, yes, you have to follow where they go. And so to the person sitting on the quarter who is being given instructions as to how they can fly and where they can go, absolutely. To some, it's a flat earth. To others, pilots, will discuss it differently. Now, if you expand out, yes, the reason why we have so much abundance is because there are lands that we have not known, that are beyond the ice wall, that are fertile and wonderful, and civilizations that live in different dimensions. I have hesitated saying that because right now we're each creating our own universes. So does it really matter? It's almost like it's another thing where the past is the past. Let it go. It's not so important any longer because we're joining and moving into higher dimensions and places. So that's something to think about. And that's the reason why when people say, well, how does the sun work? Well, The sun that we're seeing now, as I mentioned, is a new sun. It's bringing in new energies. It's absolutely fantastic, but that's not even our central sun. Our central sun is located in the Pleiades called Alcyone. And they're getting energy from Alcyone, is giving energy and information to our sun, and our sun is giving it to us, which is the reason why we can heal instantly if we're out there. You don't get cancer from the sun. And yes, this one is going to really upset people. The sun is not hot. I know many, many beautiful beings who channel, and many beautiful beings who have contacts of fifth dimensional beings who are in space and who are warriors and who are fighting may say something differently. But that's only from that perspective. And this is where everything gets so convoluted and so difficult, which is why, and I was going to bring up one more topic, but I'm not, because it's just too much. But if you're feeling that nothing from the old world is satisfying you, you don't like your hobbies any longer, you're not sure why you're with someone, you're not feeling fulfilled, nothing is really working the way that you want it to work, well, those are all signs that you need to start to let go of everything around you, let go of the past. Those were simply scenarios that you created to learn something. Let go of them, move into oneness, move into your heart. And I promise you, everything else will flow. And that happens by trying to find the littlest spark of joy, the littlest spark of fun, and going and running with that. If it comes to you while you're crafting, wonderful. If it comes to you while you are making a cake and decorating it, and that's all you want to do, that's wonderful. It is not for us to judge what anyone does or what they choose. Those who choose to go down to the negative route are just as valuable as those who choose to go the positive route. Those are just ways they chose to do. And when you let go of pain and hurt and you understand how soul contracts work, it's horrible what has happened to children and people, but it happened and it was part of what they pulled in. It doesn't have to be your part. Let people do what they need to do. You are not here to fix or save anyone. You go within, you find your answer, you call your guides, you heal yourself. Source is always working through you. And the minute you try, no matter how many times you fail or how ridiculous it seems, or if you think you're making it up, you just keep plugging away. You keep going. I have enjoyed meeting all of you. It has been amazing. The reason I wanted to bring all this stuff up again is because we're in a whole new realm. So trying to tell you who to listen to, what book to read, which way to meditate, all that stuff is going away. Except that we're bringing in all our new clairs and telekinesis and everything. Divine healing. The minute you accept that, the minute it all comes to you. If you are feeling any of this is valuable to you, please make sure to hit like, subscribe. You will see that no matter what happens, subscriptions go up by one, come down, go up, come down, because they don't want this information out there. So whatever you can do to spread the word, otherwise, it's all right. Universe will find the right time to lead you to the person you need to be led to. And know from the bottom of my heart, I have enjoyed all of you. I will continue on. These miracles are fantastic, and I love you.